Part 9, Chapter 7, Miscellaneous Notes. Before concluding the requirements and specification of brood fowl, allow me to list miscellaneous notes on the subject accumulated over a period of 40-odd years. Whenever I read, heard, or experienced anything along this line which impressed me as being valuable, I jotted it down in my chicken book. These notes are in no particular order, at least them just as they appear. Many of them have been included in what you already have read, but if they are repetitious, no harm is done. Very possibly the way someone else has made the point may be more clear to you than the way I said it. The size of the mare determines the size of the mule. The total inheritance of an individual is divisible into unit characteristics, each one of which is inherited independently. Mendel, in other words, a bird may inherit the color of his sire, but in other respects will take after his dam. Very bad to make consanguineous closely related mating if both individuals have the same undesirable characteristic. Likewise, it is bad to make unrelated matings if both individuals have the same defect. Environment plays a vital part. It is not what they were 50 years ago or 10 or 5, but what they are today that counts. Good fowl can be bred bad in mediocre fowl breed better in a surprisingly short time. The nicest judgment must be exercised in a successive mating. To breed fowl expertly, the breeder must see them fight himself. He must have the ability to make expert observation and the ability to make correct deduction. Everyone move means something. Breed only from cocks and hens whose every action approaches the ideal. The quality of your offspring is determined far more by how you made this year a mating than by how wusses mated him 10 or 20 years ago. Always keep the good hens that throw good game cocks. Do not be impressed with ang game cocks. You regret in the end. You want good putters, they bring home the bacon. It is what the strain as a family does against high-class competition that counts. It is vital to know the cutting, fighting, and winning of form of family. Many cock with a weak punch is reality as only a weak heart. Know your fowl by intimate and constant personal contact from shell to pit 365 days a year. In line breeding or inbreeding, just one bad characteristic will lick you for the closer you breed, the more pronounced this defect becomes. To increase size, breed to early pullets in March, crossbreed or hybrid almost invariably pass along the worst characteristic. The good qualities often are the result of the cross and cannot be passed along. Dick Deming, hen breeder, concentrated on producing, selecting, and growing brood hens. He felt if he could establish desirable characteristic in the hen, her sons will be good when mated to any good cock. The degree of prepotency governs the relative influence more than mathematical blood proportion. In other words, the cock may be 15-16 line bred, but if it is not prepotent and the hen is the offspring, we remember the hen every time he continues only single mating will disclose such prepotency. You find this only by trial and error. Unfortunately, there is no other way, but it is very important. Many wonderful cocks and hens never reproduce themselves because they lack prepotency. Inbreeding accentuates and fixes poles even more exaggeratedly than it does virtues. An awful lot of time is wasted trying to revive old breeds or old names which are wrecks impossible. When selecting brood fowl, have an eye for extreme vigor, health, and vitality, not only in the individual to be mated by likewise in their ancestor, otherwise inbreeding is impossible. There is a difference between apparent health of the moment and real health for generation. Get all the ideas, then do your own experimenting based on your own observation, experience, and judgment. Do your own reasoning from what you see yourself more reliable than any other method. Don't lean, abandon the broken crutches scattered along the highway of the cockerdom. They don't know anything worth listening to and never did. One perfect specimen is worth 100 fair ones. Have a mental picture of a perfect cutting cock's form, breed to that kind and to his mother and sisters. As strength, vitality, a rugged health in the strength start to diminish, gameness starts to diminish also. I like for my brood hens to be inbreed or line breed to a certain extent. Few men can win consistently over a span of many years. All the tops go down and go down fast. A smart hatch bird is of a greater esteem than one hatch at any other time. England, okay. Always place brood hens and brood cock on pre-range during molting season. Keep brood hens hungry and thin during much of the year. They will lay less, save their vitality, and live longer. Throw out the hen that waddles like a duck when she walks or runs. Keep no eggs from a hen after she becomes broody. Offspring will be weak. March and April hatch stag are high upon leg, and flesh and strong bone, big for their weight. Late hatch stag, the reverse short, dumpy, and small. Look for the distinctly feminine motherly qualities in the hen and the distinctly masculine qualities in the cock. Nothing deteriorates arteries and muscles like accumulated fat and lack of exercise. Place a cock with female for 1 hour only once every 3 days. The remainder of the time keep in scratching imply pen. Okay, part 10.